Hello there. Thank you for being part of the Patreon community. This is a bonus episode all about the ad rate schedule for Romantic Times magazine in 2015. An anonymous source sent me the rate schedule. Well, we have lots to talk about. I'm also including the PDF. It's only 4 pages, so it shouldn't be too big. I would love to hear what you think. You can find us in the Discord. You can comment on this post on Patreon. You can contact us in so many different ways. But thank you for being part of the Patreon community. I hope you enjoy this bonus episode. We're going to talk about how much the ads cost.
Oh boy.
Thanks to an anonymous source who I will not name, I have the 2015 author ad kit for RT book reviews and how much ads cost. Now, before you read this, did you have any guesses as to how much this would have cost?
So I would have said like a full page in color. And I've never worked in advertising or magazine publishing. So I'm just pulling numbers out of my butt. I don't have any sort of frame of reference. I would have said like $750 to $1,000 for a full page color ad. And I would say like for the quarter ones, like maybe $250 a spot.
Well, they are quite a bit more, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So this ad kit has 4 pages, and I will put this in the Patreon for y'all to see, because obviously this magazine's out of business. What are they going to care if we, share their PDF of their ad kit? For the record, I just want everyone to know this is not how much I charge for ads on the site. Holy shit. My God. So there's a whole section for new and debut authors. And this section is only available to authors who have previously been published by a small press with just one book or are making their mainstream publishing debut. And these are quarter ads. They're full color. They are $580 a piece.
Yeah, they are.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then they have author-friendly advertising, which is for a quarter page spot for an author who is not a debut or not making their mainstream press debut. And those are $595. First of all, you only save $15 by having been published
being
before,
a debut.
Right? Then there's an eighth of a page, and that's $325. But you can ask about how to put together your own group ad, including, did you see this on the bottom of the first page? Including discounted advertorials.
Oh, so advertorials are discounted because you're giving them like content?
Mm-hmm. So you put together a group ad, include some discounted advertorials. Okay, so which ones are the advertorials? So this is from 2015. Yeah. So presuming that this policy is in place for some of the magazines we read from 2014, there was that full page Billionaire Submissives article written by the author who wrote the Billionaire Submissive. Was that a discounted advertorial? It wasn't marked. I cannot confirm that.
Yeah, it didn't say advertorial.
But it seems like, okay, that's maybe.
But the excerpt one we saw in like one of the 2014 issues said advertorial on the bottom.
Yeah, it said advertisement at the bottom. So it was clear that it was an advertisement. It was an open road.
Also, for their advertising, they say this rate is for camera-ready ads provided to their specifications. Mm-hmm. They will design an ad for you for $50 per ad.
That is very cheap.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. I thought they would charge way more.
You are not required to find the other advertisers to share the ad page.
I wonder, though, because we saw some ads that were in black and white in the 2014 versions or whatever. I wonder if like their ads are just not good. I wonder if we could find the ones that were professionally done by the publisher versus done by the RT staff. Maybe,
My guess is that the ads designed by RT follow a template. Like if you look at the new author spotlight, it's book cover on the top left, text, headline in a different color, author photo in a little round bubble bottom right. They all follow a very similar format. Now that could just be good design, but that also could be their template. Now the page two. Okay.
Why?
Expose yourself by advertising in RT book reviews and see some action. Try it. You'll like it. And then there's like lots of quotes from different authors who have advertised with them. And then the headlines for each of their little data points. Why don't you read the headlines? Because they're just so great.
if you've got it, flaunt it. Then do it early and do it often. Bonus, find yourself in the spotlight. Go for some splash. Reveal it all on the net. So hyphen net. And no need to be shy.
Yeah. Very sexy. Very sexy. Why?
Unnecessary.
Now, they're not wrong. They were one of the very few magazines entirely devoted to genre fiction, and they were reviewing genres that didn't get reviewed elsewhere, so it makes sense. But I was mistaken about this because when the person who sent this to me was talking about it, they said that they were the ones to buy these ads. So these big ads that we're about to read the prices for, the authors were buying those. They were booking that directly with RT. That was very rarely the publisher.
The RT also mentions their demographic, their readership.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, who reads RT book reviews? Avid readers of romance, mystery, suspense, fantasy, and other fiction genres, authors, booksellers and distributors, publishers, editors and agents, librarians. And then it says, most of our readers are women between the age of 18 and 80, with a median age of 46. The majority are college educated and 50% work outside the home, earning an average income of $60,000. They spend at least 2 hours, many spend even more time, reading RT each month and refer back to it periodically throughout the month. They make up their monthly book shopping list while reading RT, which cuts down on the amount of time they spend browsing at bookstores. Which I thought was an interesting thing to tack on.
Which means that what they're trying to say there is they make their book shopping list based on RT. So booksellers need to make sure they're reading the magazine to know what's in RT so that it'll be in stock in their bookstore.
Yeah.
And I imagine, like we talked about this, the series rap sheet and the where does this book fall in the series and what's a new and what's a paperback reissue of a hardcover and what's a new cover. All of that is really great information for booksellers and librarians. I imagine this was like the loss of this magazine to that particular set of community was probably really, really crappy.
Yeah.
So shall we get to the prices? Because they are astonishing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
They're really something. Okay. So here's the rate card for 2015. And with the reminder that authors were paying for this. I also learned, by the way, remember when you used to go to a conference and you get the key card of the book, the little book cover? That was something like $8,000 for that.
That's insane.
They were quite a lot of money here. So here we go. So for the rate card, the 4 color premium positions are the front cover, the back cover, inside front cover, inside back cover. And this is all 70-pound glossy paper. That's the cover. Color centerfold, which is a 2-page spread on 34-pound coated stock, page 1, and far forward placement. So those are their premium positions. The front cover is $4,145.
Yeah.
The back cover, and if you look at the issue that we went through, so we just did the December episodes, which is July 2004, there were 3 full color back ads. There were 3 ads at the back that were back cover ads. The back cover is $3,275. The inside front cover is $3,015 or was $3,015. Inside back cover, $2,970. And the color centerfold was $4,190. It was more than the cover of the magazine, the color centerfold. That's wild to me. Page 1, which was a heavier stock, was $2,770, and far forward placement, which is, quote, a limited amount of guaranteed far forward placement ads will be allowed per issue. The ads will run in the first third of the magazine. So your placement is in somewhere in the first third, $2,725. Now, take a look at the rates for 4 color inside pages and black and white inside pages, because you'd noticed all the black and white ads, and now we know how much they are.
But also they offer like early bird rates, I guess, if you get your ad in early. But the discount is negligible. It's like $40 to $20, like $20 to $40 is how like discounted rate. So like the full page inside ad is $2,475.
For
but
full
the early
color,
bird rate is $2,435. So you're saving $40, which I guess is not a lot, but I feel like if you're already dropping over $2,000 for an ad,
$40 is not a great discount.
no. And then for black and white, a full page is $1,345.
Wow.
An early bird black and white full page is $1,325. So you're saving $20.
Wow.
And some of them you're only saving $5.
Like, I don't understand that. What is even the point? Like everyone's going to look at that and be like, well, screw it. I'll just wait.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what the psychology of like including early bird rates are, if there isn't.
I guess if you're paying for it yourself, you're like, okay, well, I can take that money I saved and apply it to the design if I get it in early.
Yeah.
But even then, go ahead.
Well, they also mentioned a few times of like, with the launch of the digital edition, all print ads will appear in the digital edition at no additional cost. Well, I fucking hope so.
It's a PDF of what you're sending to the printer. I should hope so.
Yeah.
Now, there's also an offer at the bottom, special promotions. If it's splash you want, we can provide an array of cover stock gatefolds printed on 70-pound gloss, including a 3 and 5 page cover gatefold on inside, front, or back covers, or 6 and 8 page centerfold gatefolds in the centerfold only.
Are gatefolds like they fold, the ones that fold outward?
Like the sort of like the magazine version of a step back where there's a folded portion that unfolds into a bigger picture.
Okay.
How much do you think that was? If just the cover in full color was $4,100, how much are they going to charge for a gatefold?
I'd say an extra $500 to $1,000 is my guess.
Oh, it has to be. And this is print too. Like print is always going to be more than digital, obviously. Like obviously printing costs are substantial even now, but $4,000 for the front cover. And if they're doing 12 of them, so let's say they sell.
That's a salary. That's someone's salary right there.
That is $49,740 for the whole year based on selling the front cover of the ad. What's weird is that nowhere here, that unless I missed it, nowhere here do they say what the circulation is. I remember seeing in different places that it was like a readership of 10,000 people or something like that. And I know.
Yeah, even in the readership section, they don't mention what their circulation is. They don't say what their
circ rate is, which is interesting. But they're literally the only one.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of magazines doing that much genre fiction coverage. Like they can do whatever the fuck they want. And authors were buying this.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if they mention it anywhere else. Yeah, they're like, you can reach our internet audience. Well, what's your internet audience?
Oof.
Yeah, they don't mention it anywhere here.
Right? Yeah. Advertorials. I am so interested in that. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, the rates were way higher than I thought they would be. And like, RT is nothing to sneeze at, right? Like, they did some really cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the only one of its kind. But, like, it's not a Rolling Stone magazine, right? That, like, you're going to find everywhere.
No, this was only in, like, the big magazine sections or in bookstores. Like, it had a very specific circulation. I don't remember seeing it at libraries, though it probably could have been there. $4,000.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's astonishing.
Yeah, I'm curious about the closure of like what.
How do you just be like, all right, I'm shutting it down. We're ending the magazine. We're ending the conference. It's done. That's it. Like, wow. Not even like selling
a decline. Was there a decline of like revenue? I mean, I don't know. I mean, things went digital, right? But like, you could probably offer a digital subscription only.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
All of the issues that I've had from people sending them to me digitally were from the digital subscription. They just mailed you a PDF. Like that was just, and I'm sure that their costs went way down if they weren't printing, but still, my goodness.
I feel like, because they had offices, right?
Oh yeah, they had an office in Brooklyn.
I wonder if like that was a lot of rent, but if they stayed and were around during the pandemic, they would have felt the shift for work from home and probably could have gotten rid of their office space, which is huge overhead to keep that rent going in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why it shut down, except that Catherine Falk was just retiring and that was it. And she didn't hand it over to anybody. I know that I'm pretty sure anyway, that there was some sort of transaction to give the mailing list and all of the contact email addresses to Book Lovers Con, which was Joe Carroll's spinoff, which I think has since ended. Yeah. I think that Joe Carroll acquired or paid for the list or whatever, but like the magazine, it's just done. Shut it down.
Also, like, it's crappy, right? Because like a lot of people really love this magazine and a lot of people really love the conference.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can also understand Catherine's position of like control of like, I built this brand.
Yeah.
And I could have it keep running, but like, do I want to give up my baby to someone else to run? And what if I don't agree with the way that they are running it? You know?
When I did the initial research about Romantic Times and I was looking at like what was this coverage like of Romantic Times back in the day, and I found that article in Time about like Crazy and In Charge talking about how she walked around the conference with a chicken on her shoulder.
Yeah.
How do you hand off your magazine that you walked around the conference with a chicken on your shoulder? You can't let that go.
It's hard not to think about what the magazine would look like covering what is popular today with like Book Talk, or even when BookTube was like really hitting its peak.
Yeah. God, that's a lot of work.
You know, like cover designers and that sort of thing. Also, I could even see a world in which RT Book Lovers had a teen spinoff of like teen RT Book Lovers.
Imagine that. That would have been amazing.
I feel like they stopped at a point, like a real turning point.
They did.
Both for like the world and readers, where like they could have, I don't know. I feel like they could have kind of pivoted and done even greater things, because like as someone who's been reading romance for a long time and remembers like leading the charge to get romance in independent bookstores and like speaking on panels at Book Expo America to booksellers about why this is important. And now seeing romance bookstores pop up all across the country.
There's like 6 of them now. So cool.
Seeing romance events, like,
yeah.
And we're feeling like the loss of like those events too, of like, would we go to them? I don't know, but it would be nice to have them. And I've talked to a few people who attended like Steamy LitCon this year about like what it was like. And there are like definitely some growing pains, right? Of like a first time thing. But, you know, RT had a knack for throwing this and had been throwing it for years. And so,
and it was, you know, pure fandom. You said it best, actually, in one of our early episodes. You said it best that the conference really was like being in the magazine. The conference was very much like the magazine come to life. And I think it's not really possible now for a magazine to evolve into a conference the way that RT did. First of all, because there aren't magazines. But RT shut down in May of 2018. And by the end of the month, everything was closed. Like the conference was over. The magazine was done. The website was gone. The RT VIP lounge was over. Like everyone's subscriptions ended. Like it was done. And it's really, really wild. You're totally right. Because they ended right at the cusp of some major, major challenges and changes.
Yeah, I think if they would have stuck with it for another 1.5 to 2 years, I can see, and also like get a younger staff, get a younger, you know, event planning crew. Like there's definitely like an old guard versus new guard, I think right now.
There always is, isn't there? There was one back in 2004. There was one in 2014. There's one now.
Yeah. As trends emerge for sure.
And a Polycon is a very specific vibe. But it's also incredibly successful because they've gone beyond the growing pains of figuring out how to do a conference.
But like I've never attended a Polycon, but from what I have seen, it's a lot of like signings.
A lot of
there
signings.
There might be some panels.
Yeah.
But like what places doing like weird little games and masquerades and like competitions where like you can just hang out, not have to sit and stare at a bunch of talking authors.
No, you go to a party, somebody feeds you, there's a bar. I mean,
a free book or two.
Just imagine trying to start RT now. You go to publishers. Okay, we need you to spend about $25,000 on books and swag and promoting your authors. And then you're going to fly your publicists and some editors and some executives. They're all going to go. They're all going to go and stay in the hotel. There's going to be a lot of author engagement because also RT and RWA were like, we're going to wine and dine our authors, which was something that New York authors like get all the time. Like you go out to drinks with your publicist, like that kind of thing. That doesn't happen as much if you're, in the Midwest in Nebraska somewhere. You're not going to see your editor. So yeah, that's how much it costs to advertise in RT book reviews. $4,000 for the cover.
It makes me so sad because I feel like it could have been like if RT continued really, really good in the year of our Lord 2023, but
would have had to been a completely different set of leadership positions and a lot more attention paid to marginalized groups because RT was white as fuck.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So white, a lot of whiteness with whiteness on the side.
And I think like, with COVID, we lost a lot of like event momentum.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're going to like conference after conference, you're like, all right, when's the next
year?
one?
I have to go this year. Now it's like the difference between starting a document and editing a document. If you go to a conference every year, then you're going to go next year because you've already been and you know what it's like. And it's like, oh, I'm going to go to RT. I go to this conference. I go to that conference. If you've never been, it's like, oh, do I want to go to something? Well, thank you. I'm very curious what the Patreon community will make of the rates and if they're surprised or not.
Sure.
It's also kind of like, I wonder if authors sort of look back and go, wow, I spent $4,000 to be on the cover. And that was my money. That wasn't my publisher. That was me. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for most people, aside from like billionaires, people don't have as much money to throw around.
Publishers
like
certainly don't. Look at the event. Like nobody's buying alligator fritters is what's happening.